Hello all, good evening. Hope you are able to hear my voice. We'll wait for a few more minutes and then start it. Please give me a thumbs up message if you are able to hear my voice. Okay. Uh, Thank you for joining. Probably I will start share my screen and start the session. 1 minute. Okay. Thank you. So hope you are able to see my screen. So next 1 hour we are going to talk about Azure Cognitive Services, and we are going to have the demo. Just a minute. Okay, thank you. So before going to the session, I will give some introduction about our group and what we are doing and what you can learn from the community. So we are hosting the Azure Developer Community for Tamil Nadu. It consists of 12 cities and 100 plus cities, but in Tamil Nadu 12 cities. And this is the site you can check about the community. And we have around 4,000 plus members. It's purely for Azure developers. So in any of the Azure services, we are giving the sessions and online meetups and all. So this is about the different cities. We in Tamil Nadu we have 12 communities. So we are hosting the sessions. And what we do, so we are hosting online meetups and creating the forum to network the Azure developers. And also we have Azure certification study jam, where we are giving a platform to learn the like how you can crack your certification and preparation, so that we are giving. And also we are arranging some persons from the corporates or startups, and they are sharing their knowledge. Other than that, we have some podcast and contest as well. In future we plan to have hackathon as well. Yeah, and today we are going to talk. We are going to see the demo on Azure Cognitive Services. So, what are all the text analytics services in Azure that we are going to see today? Okay, yeah. So before that, let me tell about me. So myself, Navaneethan Gopal. I'm basically from Dindakal, and currently I work as a senior data scientist in Ingram Micro, Chennai, and I have around 12 years of experience in analytics, reporting, and data engineering. I'm part of the Azure Developer Community Organizer. With me, Vivek also helping me, and I'm Microsoft certified in Azure and AI engineer. 1 minute, let me move this. Yes. So today we are going to cover in the session what is Azure Cognitive Services, and in Azure Cognitive Services we have different services, starting from entity extraction, sentiment analysis, language detection, and where you can learn these things. And we will talk about the resources as well. 1 minute. I will just check if I have any questions. I request you to post the questions in the chat box if anything. Probably I will take the questions at the end. Okay. Uh, Before that, yep. So today, the whole session we are going to run in the Jupyter notebook. So the IDE I'm going to use, and before that, I will show the Azure portal as well, like how you can create your subscription and how you can start your cognitive services. So all those things today we are going to see. So you can just go into the portal.azure.com, so which will take you to the Azure portal. So there you have to create the uh, subscription and the necessary services. Microsoft is giving a free credit for 1 month. Probably you can use that for your learning. But for that, you have to give your credit card details. Okay. Yeah. So for this session, the session we are the audience probably the beginner level, and people who are interested to learn Azure Cloud, this will be the right platform. And probably will expect the audience to have some experience in NLP. So because for example, we are going to pause some text, and from there we are going to get the entities or translation and all. So if you have some experience in NLP, it will be good. In the meetup link itself, I have shared the prerequisite links. You can check that. And you don't need any ML experience. Even a beginner can get experience in this after having the session. Okay. Yep. So Azure Cognitive Services. Why we have Azure Cognitive Services? For example, developer or programmer, so they are already having some applications, or data analyst, he is using some ML to do it. So Azure is come up with the services where we can use it easily, like we can call their services, and we can use it in our application, and we can make our application smart. So in cognitive services, we have five categories. So vision, speech, language, decision, and search. So in vision, for example, we can use it for computer vision, face detection. So for example, you have some images. So in that, identifying the image, the who are all the person in that. So if you want to do a detailed analysis on that image, you can use that vision services. And speech, say for example, definitely you people are using mobile, and there you have a mic. If you're talking, it is responding, or Alexa from Amazon. So when you're talking, please switch on the light. So by having the smart thing, automatically it will get on. So for that and all, we can use the speech service. And the third one is language. So by using this service, we can do the translation, or some text analytics, or Q&A, some chatbot thing. So that also we can use these services. So probably you have already used Google Translator. So when you're entering something, for example, if you're entering Tamil, if you want to translate it to English, you can use these services. So today, these things we are going to see in the demo. And the fourth one we are using for decision making. So anomaly detector. For example, credit card transaction, if they are finding some anomaly, it will create the alert. Or content moderator, or personalizer. So these are all the other services on decision cognitive services. And the final one is on the search. So this is more into the big Bing search. Probably you people have used a Bing search like Google. So there, if you are searching something, so those things you can avail it in Azure Cognitive Services. So these are all the different categories they are giving. And yeah. So what is Azure Cognitive Services? So it is pre-trained AI services which provide ready-made intelligence to your application. For example, when you are creating a ML algorithm, you have to create certain steps. But when you are using Azure Cognitive Services, without having any knowledge, you can directly use Microsoft AI services, and you can make your application smart. And also easily you can integrate this with your application. And also for example, when you are working on ML, you have to train the model, and so few things you don't know in terms of security, or how you can create the personalized recommendation. So those things and all you have to create. But when you are using Azure Cognitive Services, so it is already pre-trained and developed one, and you can easily integrate with your application. And finally, you don't need any ML experience by using the AI services. Just I will see if any questions. Please stop me if any, if I'm going fast, or if something is unclear. Okay, and yeah, yeah, and the cognitive services have some advantages as well. So it is very easy to integrate. Uh, they are using REST APIs. Once you get the key, and you can easily build your service. And it is flexible, like for example, if you're a Python developer, or if you're a .NET developer, easily you can integrate the API code and use it in Windows or Android or iOS. And also any platform, also based on your understanding or your known language, you can use it. And finally it is tested well, and uh, we have a documentation and sample codes and community support, so easily you can get expert in this area. Oh, and I'll say some do's and don'ts. So, whenever you are trying some Azure Cognitive Services or any other Azure ML, I request you to go through the documentation clearly. And if you are using any resources, for example, if you are using a virtual machine, or if you are using ML service or DB, just check the cost associated to use the service, because it's very important. Probably you are going to get some $200 free credit, but later they will charge based on your usage. So check the cost associated to the service. And whenever you are not using any resources, please clean up. So what is the resource, so that and all we are going to see in the demo. And finally, when you are using this service, you will get some keys to use it in your application. So please don't share the key with others. It may cost, I mean, it may cost some, you have to bear the cost if they are using the services. Okay, so let's jump into the demo. So, as I mentioned earlier, I have already logged into portal.azure.com. So, if you're trying on your own, you can go to this site and you can create your subscription. And also, I have already created the subscription, which is Azure Pass. So, I'm going to use this subscription here. So this is the home window for Azure portal. So here you will see your subscription ID and role and other options and all. Also how many services or resources you are using it, so that also you can see here. So today I'm going to create a cognitive services. I have already created a cognitive services, but still I will show how you can create cognitive services. So you can just type on cognitive services. So as we saw in the PPT, so here you can see the different services in terms of decision, anomaly detector or content moderator or personalizer. So for language, we have language understanding, Q&A maker, text analytics, and translator, speech, vision, and other things also there. So here you can create your respective service. So for example, today if I need to use text analytics, I can select create. So by clicking on it, I'm creating the service to use text analytics. Or if I need to use the service translator, I can just select create, and it will ask me to enter the service name and which region it has to be. So those things you have to select. For example, the translator, it belongs to this subscription, and which resource group. So I have already created a resource group called Azure session. So if you want to create a new one also, you can create it. And which region you need to run these services. So whether it is in US or APAC or any region, you can select it. And also you can give a name for the service, and which pricing tier you have to use it. So these things you can. And as I mentioned in the presentation, always I request you to check the pricing for each service. So for example, this service I have taken translator. So how much it cost us? So for example, standard translation, they are giving us a free some 2 million characters. But if I'm going with a different instance, pay as you go, for each for example, text translation, per million character, I need to pay 720 rupees. As I have selected India, the cost is coming in INR. So if you are selecting it in a different region, the respective currency will appear. So if you are using text translation, what is the cost? So always I request you to check this, so that you can plan your cost associate to the service you are using it. So it is always advisable to do this check. Okay. So now let me go to the cognitive services. So there is other option called all cognitive services. So if you select this option, you can use it for any of the services. So in the PPT I have mentioned, we have vision, translation, or chatbot. So if you want to use for all the services, you can go into all cognitive services and you can create your uh, the resource. So currently I have created the all cognitive services, already I have created. So for example, the name is NLP session 2. So here I have the option to get the keys and endpoint. So this is very important. So in the PPT I have mentioned, you should not share your keys with others. So I will show how you can get the key and endpoint. So the endpoint is nothing but the link to have it in your application. So for example, just have the link and the key, then you can start using the services. And the best part to use cognitive services, the documentation is very clear, and they are updating it regularly. And the algorithm also, they are updating it regularly. So here you can check anything. Say for example, if you want to know about cognitive services, you can just click on it, and it will tell about these things, the categories of cognitive services which we seen in the PPT, vision, speech. And if you want to use vision API, what are all the services? So these things we have seen in the PPT. And you can click on each option, and it will have detailed one. Vice versa, you have the sample codes as well. And they are having some courses as well. So this I should tell definitely. So there is a option called Microsoft Learn. So you have the advantage. For example, this course, it will come in AA 900. So AA 900, it's one certification. So here if you want to learn something, they have some videos and clear demo with some examples and exercise. And also at the end you have knowledge check as well. So by completing this module, you can have familiarity in this AA service. So you can use this as well. So Microsoft Learn, it's very useful one. You can create your learning path, and you can become Microsoft certified. I strongly recommend this path, as I have followed this path to complete my certifications and get upskill myself. And finally, so if you want to use any of the cognitive services, you can select the respective link. For example, vision or speech. So you can select it, and they have the detailed one. And finally, let me show you how I can get the key. So you can just select on the resource management. You can select on the keys and endpoint. So as I mentioned earlier, I have selected Central India region, and this is my endpoint. So this I'm going to use it in my IDE, the Jupyter Notebook, and the keys are invisible. I have already taken the keys. Okay, so 1 minute. Let me see if I have any questions. Yes, Shriram. So Azure AI is a part of actually Azure Cognitive Services is part of Azure AI. We have a different services like Azure ML. So in that, cognitive services also part of it. Okay. Now, so before going into the demo, we have one option, like today whatever we are going to try. So that the Microsoft itself given us a demo. So that also we will see it. Sure, it's running. Just a minute, it's running. Okay, so maybe you may have a question: why should I use text analytics, or why should I use cognitive services, or what is AI? So this demo, you can check it. So it is very good. You can play around in the. You can play around with this demo. Yes, AK. Definitely, I will share the PPT post the session, and we have the GitHub there. We will post the PPT as well as the Jupyter notebook as well. I will place it after the session. So, in terms of this demo, so we have a smart home. So the home is completely like set it up with the smart devices. So by telling a statement, and the like when you are giving some text, it will read your text, and it will work accordingly. For example, currently the lights are switched on in different rooms. So now I'm just telling go to energy saver mode. So I'm just clicking go to energy saver mode. Now maybe not all the switches, but most of the switches it got off. So by telling this command, automatically the switches got off. So now again I'm telling it's time to go to sleep. So when I'm telling it, so the all the switches will get off. Okay, so in this way, I'm telling some comment, and by reading it, the application is acting smart. So here they have used Microsoft cognitive services. Maybe now I'm trying another one option. I'm concentrating on my work. So when I clicking on it, so the light will get switch on in my workplace. Else, I'm telling I'm expecting some guest. So some relatives are coming. So when I'm telling it, so the outside the light got on. So here this is the best example we can see. So we are just telling something, and automatically the application is receiving the text, and it is acting accordingly. So you can play around with it, and today's session also we are going to pass some feedback, and from that we are going to get the topics, or we are going to translate. So those things we are going to explore today. Okay, so hope you people are aware of Jupyter Notebook. So we are using this to execute our codes. And today's session, I already have some reviews, so which I have taken from Microsoft. So they are using it for giving a demo. So these reviews collected from some hotels. These reviews we are going to use it for our cognitive services demo. Probably I will show some of the reviews as well. So already I have 5 reviews which I have put it in a notepad. So this I'm going to call this in my Python code. So for example, the first review is good hotel and staff, so which is positive. And the hotel name, the Royal Hotel London, UK. And the date of the review, and the feedback, so clean rooms, good service, great location. So which is I feel the positive review. So we are going to see that as well, sentiment, whether the reviewer is telling in a positive or negative way. So that we are going to see. So yeah, one more thing I should show, we are already seeing the pricing. So for these services, how much Microsoft will charge us. So it's very important, I request you to go through this. So then the demo link I have already shared it. And always whenever you are completing the resources, I request you to stop or clean up the resources. For example, the resource what I meant. So today's session I have created a resource called NLP session 2. So after completing the session, I will just disable or remove the resource, so that I will not get charged. So here I'm just getting the OS path to read the comments. So the comments I have placed it in data. So for example, I have placed it in the folder data, data text, and in reviews. So I'm just reading that path. And let me run it. 1 minute. Yeah, so when I execute this code, all of my 5 comments got executed. So in this folder I have 5 reviews. Already we saw the review 1 and review 2. So tired hotel with the poor service, I feel it's a negative one. And the review 3 and review 4, and so 5 reviews we have. 1 minute, let me see if I have any questions. Okay, no questions. So let me jump into the demo. So yeah, before doing the same in Python, we have another one demo from Microsoft. So for example, I will post this link also in the chat. You can place, I mean, you can play with this demo as well in terms of text analytics. Say for example, we have the comment, right? 1 minute. So we have this comment. Okay, so I'm just going to pause this demo. So I'm giving the visualization what will happen when we are giving the text, and in terms of sentiment or key phrases, what's going to happen. So this is at the front end level. So I'm just clicking next step. So the text is getting processed. So if you are familiar with NLP, generally we will when we are sending some text, we will do some cleaning. So for example, removing the stop words, removing the phrases like special characters. And so we have certain flow, so that you can check it in the check it in the meetup link. I have placed some prerequisite so that you can go through. So now I'm giving the next step. So here I got the review, so good hotel, staff, and all. So now I need to get the sentiment and key phrases from this text. So I'm just giving a next. So by reading the comment, we can know the comment is positive. So I'm getting the comment, the sentiment is positive. And it is getting the key phrases. Say for example, hotel, Buckingham Palace or Westminster Abbey, Indian, Michelin star. So these are all the some key phrases. So that is getting highlighted and good. So that is the positive sentiment. So that is getting. So now I'm giving the next option, entity linking. So by giving entity linking, so it is the respective domains. For example, the Royal Hotel, it is taking from Wikipedia. So for example, if you are clicking on it, it will take us to the Royal Hotel Wikipedia page. Probably you can use the Bing search and all also. Now I'm giving the next one. So Bing entity search. So if you are clicking on it, so whatever the keywords, so that will get in the Bing search engine, and it will give the respective search results. uh, will come here. It may take some time. I guess. Okay, sorry. It got start over. It is coming from the beginning. Maybe we can try some other text later. Okay, so now what we did so far, we have created a subscription in Azure portal, and we have created a cognitive services, and we have taken the endpoint and key. So now we opened Jupyter Notebook, and we have loaded the reviews. So I already had some five notepads that I have loaded here. So now, yeah, so I will share this Python notebook after the session. So here, probably I will unhide the cognitive key and endpoint. So this cognitive endpoint, we have seen it here. So if you are going to the session resource, so here the endpoint I have NLP session to cognitive services.azure.com. So that I have called it here, and the key also I have taken from this place. So now I just ran it, and my service is ready to go. So that's it. So we have created a subscription, and we have call it in our Jupyter Notebook. Similar way, you can use it in your applications as well. For example, if you're calling this in some Python application or .NET application, you can do the same way. So now I'm just installing two libraries. So one is to get the Azure text analytics one, and the other one is cognitive services one. So I'm just installing these two packages. So as I have already installed it, I'm just moving. So here I'm calling some services. So Azure Cognitive Services. From there, I'm just importing the text analytics client, and also I'm just doing the authentication. So in the top I have given cognitive services endpoint. So now I'm just going to call that in my Python code, and I'm just using this line to authenticate that key. Then it is doing the analysis, language analysis. So probably we will walk through the code. I will just execute it, and I will walk through it. So here we already have five reviews. So now I'm just executing it. 1 minute. Let me rerun this. Yeah. So here, as I mentioned, I have taken, loaded libraries, and from there I'm importing this text analytics client and the cognitive services client credential. So it is just validating the endpoint and the key. Once that is done, I'm just taking the reviews. So I have loaded five reviews, and I'm loading that into this thing for loop, and in from that I'm just trying to get the language. For example, whatever the comment or the review, which language it is. So by using this function, detected language, it will return the language, whether it is English or some other language. And also, what is the score? I mean, the confidence score. For example, if it is 100%, it is confident that it is English. So by executing this, so I have 5 reviews. From there, all the languages are English. So here I'm using the service language detection. So which language it is. So now you can try a different thing also. So for example, okay, in the down I have a different language also. So that also I will show. Let me check if okay, no questions. Okay, so this is the first service we have used, language detection. So this is very helpful. For example, when you are creating some application to get the feedback from your customer or your viewer. So when they are entering it, you need to do some analysis. So by using this language detection, you can get to know the language which they are typing or which they are providing feedback. Okay, so now yeah, here I have the other example. So in the above one, I have paused the notepad and I have considered, I mean, I have tried to get the language which it is. So there is a other option. Here I have giving the comment in Hindi. Okay, so I'm just passing directly the text. So when I'm execute, so it is detecting Hindi. Probably we can so by giving Tamil text, it is written in the language Tamil. So it will be very helpful when you are getting the language from your application. You can use this function to get to know the language, which language it is. So we have done the first thing, the language detection. If you have any questions, please post it in the chat. I guess so far it is going good, and please let me know the feedback as well. Okay, so let's jump into the next one, key phrase extraction. For example, you have the text. So from that text, you need to get the key phrases. So what are all the important phrases in that text? Okay, so here we have the code. So as above the same thing, we are just reading the documents reviews, and we are passing it to the for loop. So here I'm using the key phrase one. So what it is just analyzing the document, and it is telling what are all the key phrases. So I'm just executing it. So here for each review, it is telling which is the key phrases. For example, review 3. So review 3, let's open the notepad which we have given. So here is the review 3. So tired hotel with poor service, and the Royal Hotel London, United Kingdom. And the feedback is this is a old hotel, has been around since 1950s, and the room furnishing or average. So some negative comment. How it came in the key phrases. So they are telling the key phrases as old hotel, Royal Hotel, tired hotel, and London and United Kingdom. So these are all the key phrases. So this code or this service is helping us to know the key phrases from the text. So this will be very useful. So when you are having a say multiple lines or multiple pages. So this service will help you to get the phrases easily, key phrases. So probably there is a other way. So in this example we have just paused the review in the notepad, and we read, and we got the key phrases. So now I'm just pausing it in the text itself. For example, hello, did you know the true aim of this strategy was to teach you that your ideas must be well supported to be perceived and effective. So I'm just executing this code. So from this line of code, we are just getting the key phrases, true aim and ideas. So this is the key phrases. Probably we can take another example. So probably let's take from the match commentary. So probably yesterday you watched the match, and today probably they must be having it. We can copy this the key phrase document. Okay. So from here, maybe it is not that good. So it is same as a key phrase, and three other teams also key phrase, and other sites four others, SRH sunrisers. So these things it is taking as a key phrase. So probably you can play around with this later. You can pause a different text and see the phrases it is coming. Okay, so let me see the link, example link. Okay, so probably how sentiment analysis work, and or how mining work. So if you want to know about it, you can use this link. So here itself we have about the opinion mining and all, and we have the example as well. So how you can request the endpoint, and how you can call it in your JSON or some other version, so that you can use it. So you can refer this link, and it has some sample codes as well. Okay, so now let me move to the next one, sentiment analysis. So sentiment analysis, when we are giving some comment, so it will help us to identify the content, whether it is negative or positive. So it is doing based on the score. So in the code, we are just reading the documents, and I'm passing it to in the for loop, and I'm using the service, the sentiment analysis. It is helping me to get the score of the review. So for example, if the score is less than zero point 0.5, I'm taking that as a negative. If it is greater than zero point 0.5, I'm taking the sentiment as a positive. So we have already paused the five reviews, and I'm just seeing whether the review is positive or negative. So for example, yeah, let's take a few. So review is a common one. Saturn is the sixth planet from the sun, and the second largest in the solar system after Jupiter. It is a gas giant with an average radius about 9 times of that of Earth. So let's see how we got it. So here it is coming as a zero point 0.5. So the reason it is neutral maybe, because there is not much about the sentiment. Probably we will take the review, might be negative one. So yeah, so here for example noise would be not be so bad if rooms were better. So some negative comment. So service helping you to read the text, and it is classifying whether the sentiment is positive or negative. Let me see if any questions. Yeah, sure, Janathan. I will share the Jupyter Notebook link later. Probably I will upload it in Google Colab, or I will post it in GitHub and share it. So the next one, it is also similar. So for example, I'm just having text directly. I'm passing it into the document, and I'm trying to get whether it is positive or negative. Okay, so in this code we have more functions. For example, so it is telling the document sentiment as negative, the score, and each sentence it is having the description in which way it is classifying positive or negative. So probably I will share this code, you can go through it, and let me know if any questions. You can reach out to me in LinkedIn or Twitter. You let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to help. Okay, so we have covered three things. So the first one is language detection, and the second one is key phrase detection, and the third one is sentiment analysis. So we have covered three services. Okay, probably we'll go to the next one. So the entity extraction. So in the previous example, not previous example, in the demo we have seen the entity extraction. So we are just selecting, say for example, London place, hotel name or date. So we are trying to get the entity. So for example, the review, so what they are talking about, so whether they are talking about time or place. For example, you have ordered some food in Swiggy or Zomato, so you like the food, so probably you will answer it, I have purchased, or I have ordered a food for my birthday. So the occasion is birthday. So when you have ordered on the weekend, probably Saturday, Sunday, so that is date time. So you need to extract the entities. So in that case, you can use this service. So as we are just reading the document, and we are passing it to the for loop, and we are using the service entities. So entity underscore analysis dot documents entities. So it is returning whether it is a date, time, or location. So this it is returning, and it is appending with the Wikipedia URL. So probably that Wikipedia URL might not be useful one, but you can use it for your entity extraction. For example, I have just executed. So for review one, the location is Royal Hotel, and London, that is also coming as a location, and the date time also we have it in the review, so that is coming, and rest all location. So in this example, I have used only date, time, and location. So probably if you want something else, so say time or day, so those things also you can use it. Probably I will show that in the next example. So here I'm having the category. Say for example, 1 minute. So here I'm pausing the text, I love Italian food, especially pizza I had last week in Chennai. So I'm going to pause this text. So here the text is Italian. So category it is skill. The reason it is coming as a skill, it is a language, or so mostly here it is considering as a language. So language it's a skill. So we don't have the subcategory, and the confidence score. So it is detecting the Italian as a skill with the confidence of 69 percentage, and what is the length and offset it is coming. So the next one is food. So the text is food. So the category it is coming as a product. So for example, food it is detecting as a product category. with the confidence of 46 percentage. So these kind of services will be very useful when you are getting some feedback from your customer. So for example, the customer is giving feedback on your product. By using these entities, you can easily detect the respective entity. Say for example, the pizza, so it is a category as a product. So I have mentioned as a last week, it is a date time, and Chennai, it is as a location. So in this way you can use it. So this is about the entity extraction. So this will be very useful when you're collecting feedback and doing the analysis. Okay. So we have some other, I guess this language detection demo we have already seen, and some other cognitive services also. I have just added the reference link. You can check it after the session. So finally, the last part we come, so that is translating text. So here also I'm using the cognitive key and the cognitive location. So this key I'm getting from the Azure portal. So now I'm just creating a function to translate the text. So where I'm using the cognitive key, and from which language to which language. So for example, in this example, I want to translate the text from French to English. Okay. So I'm just pausing it here. Let me execute it. 1 minute, let me run this. So here, the from language is English, and I want to translate it to French. So here I'm just passing it to hello. So it is returning me bonjour. I guess it is in French. So probably we'll see. Probably I will take the text translate itself. So I'm just giving translate. Okay. So let me pause it here. So instead of hello, I'm just pausing it translate. So it is automatically translating it to French. So this will be very useful. So when you're having a website you have generated in English, and you want to translate it into different languages. So instead of using the translation services, you can use this Azure ML to translate the language to particular language. So this is the other example. So here I have some more examples. So to translate to Italian, so it is coming in the respective thing. Vice versa, you can use the uh, respective language. Say for example, English to French or English to Italian. So that you can use it here. So probably here another one example. So I'm translating Hindi to English. So I'm giving a big text. So how it works. So I'm just it is getting translated the Hindi. So validate it because these are all two different ways. Google and Microsoft. For Ganesh and aim it. Let's not read it. So probably Azure is giving much better translation, but depends. So it depends on the algorithm they are using it, and every day or mostly they are keep on updating their algorithms. So this is about the service translation. So this will also very helpful when you are doing the translations. So I have some link. You can check this one. So some of the open source contributes create my co-organizer Vivek. So they have created the translations. Say for example, English to French, example, Coral or Apudi. So they have used Azure services to translate Coral. You can play or you can give a try on this as and you can check this out. Okay. I do see one question from AK. What is the sentiment analysis score range? Yeah. So that you can define it. So in my code, I have defined it 50 percentage score. If it is greater than 50 percentage, I have defined it as a positive, and less than 50 percentage as a negative. So you can define it, or we have some best practices as well. And yeah, I do have some references to the cognitive services. You can review it uh, after I share this notebook with you. And finally, probably I haven't added this in the demo, but you can use this cognitive services in Power BI as well. I guess you people are aware of Power BI, the reporting tool from Microsoft. So you are doing some reporting in Power BI, and in that you need to do some sentiment analysis or some entity extraction. You can call your Azure Cognitive Services in Power BI. So probably I will cover this in one more session, probably next month, or I will plan and come up with a plan like how to use Azure services in Power BI. So we can see about that. So this is about the demo, and we have come to the end of the session. So probably I'm open to the questions, and you can post it in the comments. And I do have update about our community and all. So I will share this PPT post the session. So we have completed the demo, and how you can create your Azure free account, or how you can jump in into the NLP, or what is NLP, so that you can refer this link. And also you can check about Azure ML. Okay. And yeah, just let me know if any questions. And before seeing the questions, I will tell more about our community. So you can see us in Meetup or Twitter or LinkedIn. Just search Azure Developer Community. You can see it. And the very good part is you can upskill yourself. Say, for example, I will give my example. So I'm new to Azure. So once I joined this community, I was attending the meetups and lots of sessions, and I started exploring Azure. And in the meantime, I practiced, and I completed my certifications as well. And this community helped me to upskill. And finally, we are in Clubhouse as well. You can search Azure Dev Community, and we used to have some sessions or discussions or guidance, so that you can jump in. Yeah, and finally, thank you. Probably I will see the questions. Okay, thank you, Mugundan. Thanks, AK. Uh, so probably, yeah, probably I will go through some of the meetup, and yeah, already you are watching it in our YouTube channel. So you can go through our existing, I mean, past sessions as well. So all the sessions are recorded. Even today's session we have recorded. Uh, I request you to subscribe our channel, and also to get the notifications. We have multiple recorded sessions from different persons, like experienced persons, for example ML pipelines. So I highly recommend Vivek Raja session on the ML pipeline. So if you're planning for Azure certification, just go through it. And also we have a different communities, and for example different locations, and we have tried to cover as much as possible. For example, Power BI or DevOps or Azure IoT. So you can go through it. And another thing is, if you haven't joined our meetup group, so Azure Developer Community, you can join. So you will be get notified in the future sessions as well. I guess we are almost done with the session. Let me see if I have some more sessions. Yeah, some questions from. Yeah, thank you, Sriram. Probably we have some sessions on DevOps as well. I request you to go through the YouTube channel or you join in our meetup group. You will get the notification if we have some session on DevOps. I will also reach out if we have any future DevOps session. Probably we are come to end of the session and thank you all. Thanks for your time. Have a good day. Bye.